So, a little background. I've been writing a screenplay slash TV series for years, and it's called Naked Souffle. It's very loosely based on my life. At one time, I wanted to be a chef, and it has to do with strip clubs as well, which I've been to one or two. But I've decided I might turn it into a book or audiobook. So here's a little sample of what I have so far. Opening scene. Nathan walks towards the desk to retrieve his personal effects, which include his grandfather's watch, letters from his girlfriend, and what he was wearing when he got arrested, which would be a tux. He walks outside the prison to find his parole officer, Tom, waiting for him. He's told that he only has 1 week to find a job. He walks all over town, going door to door, trying to find some reasonable job only to be rejected at every turn. He's ready to give up his search when he walks by a gentleman's club with a help wanted sign out front. It's the last place he wants to work, but desperate times call for desperate measures. So reluctantly, he walks inside and is greeted by the bouncer named Biggin, who happens to be a little person. And the bouncer tells him to go down the hall and the last door on the left. He walks in the door, only to find the owner, Jimmy, doing lines of cocaine out of a stripper's butthole. The owner asks him to join, but he says no, as it would be a violation of his parole. After the owner is done getting high as a kite, Nathan sits down to discuss the details of his job. Apparently these duties include mopping up jizz on top of cooking. He reluctantly accepts the position, as he's pretty much out of options. Afterwards, he heads to his girlfriend's. Her name's Nikki. He heads to her apartment, which is in a fairly dank and dirty part of town. He knocks on the door and is greeted by a man who's at least 50. His name's Roy. He asks where his girlfriend is and is told she's down at the gentleman's club working, which shocks him. But he's in for another shock when he hears a baby crying and is told the baby is his. He tries to remember the last time he had sex and if it's actually possible that the child is his. He looks through the calendar on his phone to see the last time he was with his girlfriend, only to find that it's most likely his kid, and he was with her the night before he went to prison. The 50-year-old tells him that if he wants to see his son, he's going to have to back pay his child support, which is in the thousands. Nathan walks out and goes for a walk to clear his head and figure out his next move. He realizes he has nowhere to live and has very little in the way of money for rent. So he's forced to stay in low-income housing with a roommate who is a cross-dressing male prostitute named Candy. Candy uses the apartment as his base of operations, so people are in and out day and night when Nathan's trying to sleep. Nathan didn't sleep while in prison, and he's getting even less sleep now. He's less than 5 hours of sleep, but has to start his shift in less than an hour. He doesn't have a car, so he starts walking towards the club, which is lit up in neon lights with the name Sensations. As he walks in, the song Porn Star Dancing is playing by My Darkest Days, and he notices the stink of jizz and broken dreams. Once he reaches the manager's office, he is put right to work cleaning up the nudie booths which are covered with more jizz than a sperm bank. After he heads to the kitchen, which of course is beyond filthy and very unlikely to pass a health inspection unless someone bribed the inspector, he decides to clean it up, and once he's done cleaning, he starts to cook what may or may not pass as roast beef. He adds as much spice as is humanly possible to make it taste well enough for human consumption. He then brings it out for the customers, who range in age from 19 to 60 years old and are more likely to pay attention to the entertainment. Some of them begin to sample the food. Most of them don't really care for it, but a couple of them light up and pay compliments to the chef. This is all the inspiration Nathan needs to make changes to the menu. Towards the end of his shift, He takes his ideas to the manager, who is once again high as a kite. Being in the state that he's in, the manager agrees to the changes in the menu. He may or may not remember, but Nathan's not too worried about that. He starts walking home while thinking about what he could add to the menu to spice things up. His specialty, of course, being souffle, so that's the first thing he adds to the menu. Then he decides to add tomato soup, mashed potatoes, and a garden salad.